Okay, Devon, hello. Thank you for joining us all the way on the other side of the globe. I don't think you could be further away from us in New Zealand, which is an interesting place for you to train because you're actually Canadian born. Do you want to tell us why you ended up doing your training in New Zealand?
Yeah, so in Canada, actually, the teachers program, they went to 2 years instead of one. So for teaching in New Zealand, I could get my teaching done 1 year in advance. And also, I thought that it was a really good experience to go somewhere other than staying at home, get the different experiences from a perspective that wasn't my own and what I'm used to, and try to bring that back to Canada whenever I head back that way. So.
Oh, excellent. Did you find the New Zealand and the Canadian classroom similar or different?
There was quite a bit of a difference. There were some similarities. Um, for the most part, the classrooms that I worked in, however, they were more so very well managed. Behavioral management wasn't really that big of an issue. Whereas in Canada, growing up in that system, there definitely was some behavioral management issues going on there. But again, in a system, any system for that matter, you get that wide range of the good and the average and the bad. So yeah, overall, there were some similarities and some differences for sure.
No, but you've enjoyed the experience of your training, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be
Yeah.
getting such good references. So that's good to hear. So why the UK? So you've gone to Canada. You've already spent a year in New Zealand. Why are you interested in working in UK schools?
Yeah, so the experience that I have in Canada, obviously bring that to New Zealand, and then bring both of those to England, I think would definitely help me, especially in the future if I decide to go back to Canada or whether I stay in the UK or not. Just having these different experiences from these different places around the world, I think can definitely help me to structure my own classroom in the future, bring elements of each country into the classroom, as well as try and bring my own elements into the classroom as well. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think you can bring to the UK classroom, particularly with classroom management? Because our experience of overseas trained teachers is that that there might be different challenges. Do you think you'll be able to manage a inner city London classroom?
Right. So I think for the most part, it would be a really good experience to get in there. Obviously, you never know what you're going to get. So I think kind of going by the seat of my pants just a little bit and going in there, I think would be a really good experience going off of what I've done in New Zealand and even just being in schools in Canada as well. The things that happen in the schools there are pretty easy to manage. However, you do get those times where you do need to be a little bit more strict, where you need to really get your point across in a stern way.
Hmm.
For me in the New Zealand classroom, I always try, if someone's giving me a hard time, I always try first to give them words of encouragement or words that, oh, you're doing such a good job today, Johnny. Like, try and stick on track before I turn into that monster myself and kind of play into their behavior. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think it ever helps if you get angry. You've got to, it's finding that balance between strict and encouraging and following. So that's heartening to hear, and I'm sure there are some similarities in the policies and whatnot that between New Zealand and the UK. Why did you become a teacher?
For me, teaching has always kind of been um, always in the forefront of my mind ever since I actually, one of my old grade 3 teachers, she kind of put it in my ear that I would be good to try and help people of a younger generation than myself, just because of the personality that I had and the care that I had for people that were younger than me. Since when I can remember, like grade school, I'd always participate in lunchroom monitoring and helping out other teachers, going back and volunteering at schools, just having that kind of foster the future kind of mentality come into it. So, yeah.
Uh-huh. And what do you think makes a good teacher, Devon?
I think someone who obviously um, brings their own take into the classroom, can have a good laugh, can be stern, can implement different ways to show that they know their content knowledge, to present it in different ways with the students, whether that be vocally or through a video, or if they want to do like a simulation. I've done simulations in year 12 geography for their crime unit by putting a fake dead body on the floor and outlining it in white tape and putting caution tape up and stuff. So just different ways of being able to show the information, keep them attracted to what the topic is, I
Yeah.
think are good ways to keep
Yeah.
them interested.
Absolutely, and
So
then you're speaking to the different learning styles in the classroom as well. So that sounds like a really interesting lesson, and I hope that schools go into more depth, because I'd certainly, for one, would like to hear more about that. Um, so you're obviously quite into traveling, into seeing the world, which is no bad thing for somebody who's a
yeah,
geography specialist. So
yeah.
where have you been so far, and where are you going, and where have you enjoyed the most or found the most interesting?
So far, I'm not sure. It froze on my end.
Don't worry,
There
it
we
is
go.
what
I
it
think
is.
we're
We can,
back.
yeah, we
Yeah.
back. Super.
Um, so to answer your question, I've been quite a few places in the Caribbean. Obviously, being from Canada, I've been to the US, multiple states in the US. I've traveled in Europe just a little bit. Ireland, Wales, and England were the three places that I've hit so far.
Nice.
Um, been to New Zealand, living here now, Australia, Fiji, and actually next week I head out to Thailand for 2 weeks. So that'll be a really great experience going somewhere in Asia to try and foster some more learning that I've done from around the world. So
Yeah. Okay. And where's next on your list then? London,
um,
obviously, because we're going to get you a job here. But there anywhere else you want to visit? A burning desire to?
right now, the top two are Switzerland and Iceland, actually. And I think coming to the UK, that would be a pretty good hub to shoot off to those places on any time off, or even before I head back to Canada or wherever I may end up. Just head
Hmm.
to those places and see what they have to offer. So
Great. Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you very much, Devan. I'm sure that this is going to be helpful, knowing how committed you are to teaching to our schools, and along with your excellent feedback that we've got from your placements, I'm sure it's going to lead to interviews, and from there to placements. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll be in touch with you shortly.
thank you. Sounds good.